So the spark that set off the revolt in Iraq occurred on June 26, 1920. A local tribal leader was arrested near the village of Rumaitha, but soon other members of his tribe arrived and broke him out of the prison. The British decided to try to retaliate by carrying out an attack on another nearby village and burning it down, but local tribesmen drove them off. The unrest began to spread across the Middle Euphrates region, with several tribes joining forces and besieging Abu Khair and Rumaitha, and cutting the railway lines that were vital for British troop movements. 2 British forces sent to relieve the garrison in Rumaitha were defeated by a force of some 5,000 tribesmen. Before long, the British were losing control of the Middle Euphrates region and sent reinforcements from Basra in the south. They also decided to withdraw to the city of Hilla to prevent smaller garrisons from being overwhelmed and to protect the last approaches to Baghdad. The tribesmen, who were led in the field by Sayyid Alwan al-Yasiri and Sayyid Muhsin Abu Tabih, now took the offensive and besieged Kufa and Hilla, and they virtually controlled the countryside as well. The key cities of Najaf and Karbala were abandoned by British troops without a fight, and the tribal and religious leaders set up a local government, although it is still debated whether this was intended to eventually extend across the country. Kufa quickly became the center of action as the Royal Air Force flew missions attacking the besieging Arab forces and dropped supplies for the garrison. There have been claims that British planes dropped poison gas on the Iraqis, but more recent research makes this seem unlikely, even though Winston Churchill himself declared that he was fine with the idea. The gunboat HMS Firefly gave the Kufa garrison supporting fire from the river, and at first, the tribesmen had no answer to the Firefly's heavier guns. The British sent out yet another relief force to rescue their troops at Kufa, but as they struggled along in the intense heat, they were attacked and defeated by local forces at Raranjia. Some 180 British and Indian troops were killed, and the Arab forces captured valuable ammunition and an 18-pounder artillery piece. The gun was quickly repaired, brought up to Kufa, and put into action by veterans of the Ottoman army, and the Firefly was sunk. The situation was now, from a British point of view, extremely dangerous. The defeats had a dampening effect on morale and increased tensions, as Gertrude Bell confessed. "It's a bad business. The military authorities seem to me all through to have been more inept than it's possible to conceive." The British commander in the region, General Aylmer Haldane, later wrote that he had never been so worried as after the defeat at Raranjia, not even during the Great War. From 1914 to the armistice, except for an occasional brief spell of leave, I was never absent from the Western Front, and my troops often held ground, which in the parlance of the time was called unhealthy. But these 12 days at Baghdad in 1920, days that seemed like years, surpassed all earlier ones in the mental strain which they imposed. In a bad sign for the British, both Shia and Sunni Muslims were in revolt alongside each other, a rare occurrence between the rival groups.
على زمور التبغ جنكم تعيدون، ترجفون المنايا وما ترجفون. يا عيال الشكوككم من التعيلون، على جدافه جدك شايل البرناو. بيدك